Okay, here's the deal. I was scrolling the old Steam library thinking of what to do next. I was thinking of maybe doing another challenge in a Souls game. The Souls series is a mine for that kind of thing. But I thought perhaps it was too soon. I just did a Dark Souls challenge, and I thought of maybe doing an Elden Ring challenge, since the hype is still strong because of the DLC, but I simply wasn't feeling it. There are a lot of people already doing that, like right now. I don't know. Leave a comment if you want to see something like that in the future. And then I saw it. Maybe Deus Ex. Yeah. I, of course, immediately went, wait, does anybody care about this game anymore? Followed by, does AUDs give a shit about this franchise anymore? This video is totally going to flop, isn't it? Yeah, probably. Can you beat Deus Ex Human Revolution with no augmentations? Adam Jensen never asked for this, so we'll please him and use none of the abilities given by his augmentations. That's pretty much all the rules in this one. No augmentations. That basically means no takedowns, lethal or not, no hacking for level 2 or above, no Typhoon system, no social enhancement, no Icarus, not improving the inventory space, not moving heavy objects, and who knows what else. I am also aiming for the Foxiest of Hounds achievement, which you get by not triggering any single alarm. This achievement is not necessarily about getting seen, nor about the alarm or hostile status. Just ask this scientician. And he'll tell you it's about alarms. To my understanding, alarms can be triggered by enemies, but they have to actually go and trigger them. However, cameras can and will activate them automatically if you step on their line of sight for too long. So that'll be fun. Additionally, I turned off the reticule and the highlighting of important objects in the options menu, because why not? I will have deactivated the HUD too, but the game doesn't seem to let you. At least not without mods, and I really don't like to mess with mods. Also, I'm playing the Director's Cut edition, which includes the DLC and some other changes here and there. Also, I will not use the automatic unlocking devices, because they sort of defeat the purpose of the hacking restriction. I'll pick them up if I have the space for them, and just sell them if I have the chance, but that's it. Oh, and I played in the hardest difficulty, because masochist, and blah 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 blah. So, will I be able to beat this? Will Adam get some much needed cough syrup? Will my PC crash and make me lose my recordings again? Let's find out.
With all due respect, Major, I'll expect 2 security details waiting for us.
Oh my god, is that really his voice? I always thought his voice was like that after the incident. Holy sh... This initial section is a literal auto-scroller, so there's not much to do here. We meet Megan and Pritchard.
Did I interrupt something, Jensen?
Shut up, Pritchard. When I finally gained control over Adam, that was a good moment to sort of benchmark what he can do. He can walk, he can run, not very high, but he can jump, he can shoot, he can sneak, and he can hide behind cover. That's it. I use those abilities to get to the end without being detected, and then get clapped. After getting augmented, we must see Pritchard first.
Maybe this time you'll actually save people.
Shut up, Pritchard.
Pritchard's been trying to order everyone around since you've been gone. Dick.
You see? Shut up, Pritchard! I then went to the helipad, chose a weapon. I don't really need a weapon for this mission, but I chose the combat rifle, because a little bit of looting and thieving can give you the rest. Also, to demonstrate something later, I needed something that shoots bullets. That's a weird sentence. I should rewrite that. I was informed about the hostages in the building, so I had the optional mission to save them. So I went in and then just crouched everywhere, baby. Oh yeah. I tried to go through the roof, but I couldn't because some idiot left all the cables and the water splatter, making it impossible to cross. I jumped down, almost popped my kneecaps in the process, and went right in. I found a double-barrel shotgun, which I'm pretty sure only exists in this version of the game, and it's not a thing in the original one. I sneaked past the enemies of the area. I found out you can do this. Are you freaking blind? Oh yeah, that is definitely not something I'm going to abuse on this run, I swear. And get to the first hacking minigame. Okay, pause. My understanding is that all the mandatory hacks are level 1. The only way to progress through this area is by hacking this panel. That's what mandatory means. If a panel for a door or a safe or any other thing is more than level 1, there should be either a way around it, I should be able to find the code somewhere in the area, or it's completely optional and does not affect progression. Carry on! I stood up for a second to do something while I was recording, and my freaking cat stole my chair. He's also trying to ignore me and pretending I'm not here. The next area can be completely trivialized by just getting into the vents. You end up right behind the bomb and the hostages, and just hack the bomb to deactivate it. Alternatively, you can just shoot at these recipients to make the bomb useless, and that also works. And that, kids, is why chemical warfare is never the answer. With the hostages safe, I talked to one of them, who informed me about his wife. I just created a distraction and left the area. Aha! Aww.
Help me!
Oh, come on, that was my shot!
Because I've also got a dead purist in here with some pretty interesting cerebral implants.
Don't touch him.
Oh.
We'll need an expert to recover his neural hub, in case it's booby-trapped.
Copy that.
People is dying. You having fun there? You and I are gonna go on an adventure. I met the insecure Cyclops. That's not entirely a joke, by the way. That's kind of how you beat his dialogue. You have to sort of hype him up so he leaves without the hostage.
Stand down or this bitch is dead!
This guy really is a walking stereotype. And somehow, the police who was right there outside of the building let him go, and then blame me. I went back to Sarif and talked to Pritchard.
Just leave, Jensen. I'm very busy.
Can I shoot this guy? Like, really, can I shoot this guy? Shut up, Richard. I talked to Corella, who gives you a little side quest. I'm going to ignore most of the side quests in this run, not only because I want to, and they probably will make the video too long, but also because a lot of them are impossible in this challenge. Cassandra's side quest, for example, requires you to break into a safe that requires hacking level 3, which I don't and cannot have. And to my knowledge, the only way to get the code is from the detective if you have the social enhancement augmentation, which I also don't and cannot have. That being said, this quest is completable, I think, and I do want the reward for it. I still talk to Cassandra because
I never asked for this.
I went to do the side quest, which has a level 2 door, but I just piled some things, climbed them, and jumped over the fence. I read the emails, which gave me the code for that door and some more info. I sneaked out, talked to this guy, and he wanted me to assault 2 other people. I don't know why, but I didn't really want to kill these guys. And I had no non-lethal takedowns, nor non-lethal weapons. So I tried to throw a barrel at their heads. What are they gonna do? Shoot me? Yeah, it did not work. At this point, I just let this mission simmer in for a bit and went to the limb clinic, which is part of the main quest. And absolutely everything you can get there is useless to me. I do get free money for that though. I went to the police station where I sweet-talked my way in. If you manage to convince them to let you in, you have access to most of the building, including the morgue, which is your objective. Hello, friend. I just took the chip and left. I went to my apartment, got the cutscene. Shut up, Richard. I realized I forgot to read an email back at the office. I got hella sidetracked and tried to get into every single office inside of Sarif and access their computers. I couldn't get them all, but I think I got inside most of them. With just level 1 hacking. As I said, there's usually either an alternative route, or you can get the codes or passwords somewhere. My favorite by far is this one. Just a note with a fucking password in it. During all this, I found this email that relates to what I think is the side quest with Corella. Pritchard is talking shit about finding the thieves before me, and I took that personally. Shut up, Richard! I then went to read the email that I forgot at the office. I can then talk to one of the hostages that I saved earlier, and he leads you to a merchant who gives you a discount. I sold a bunch of things to him and bought a silencer to complete my Hitman cosplay. Also a stun gun, but that's not too important right now. I finished the side quest and got a laser sight as a reward. With that little tangent out of the way, I went to deactivate the antenna, being as sneaky as possible. And, with a surgeon's precision, I got a mine to explode right on my face. And I somehow didn't die. I grabbed the rest, hacked the antenna, and proceeded to the next section. The FEMA facility can be completed in less than 20 minutes if you know what you're doing. You only really have to go with a little bit of care. Avoid enemies, go through the second floor area. It's very straightforward actually. And then I reached the first boss of the game. The Director's Cut edition added a bunch of options to deal with Barrett. You can go into vents and sneak around. You can get some turrets that you can hack. You can do a bunch of things other than directly engage with Barrett. And I could do exactly none of them. I just threw a bunch of explosive barrels and some gas canister to his face, and that was it. It was very effective.
Jensen, I need to speak with you. Meet me in your office right away.
Shut up, Richard. We landed at the hotel in Hengsha. Instead of going directly to our destination, I actually went inside of the hotel for the sites. Actually no, I just went inside for 2 cards. The Tai Young Medical Access card and the Hive membership.
Just thinking ahead.
I went to the apartment, access through the roof. I used the elevator to go up, went through the vent. This is definitely not abusable in any way. Hacked the computer, and bada bing bada boom, got my ass off of there. Why do I find this so funny? I'm so dumb. With the membership card, you can get into the Hive and walk in through the front door. I convinced definitely not the owner to let me see the manager, and convinced Tonks to lead me to the hacker. I went to see the hacker, I escaped the little attack, I learned from my past mistakes and actually deactivated and took all the mines, and entered Tai Young Medical. TYM is another section of the game that you can do pretty quickly if you know what you're doing. A lot of it at the start is just crouching around, avoiding cameras, waiting for the flickering lasers, that kind of stuff. To get a second access card, I did a little bit of a silly thing. There is a dead guy in the vents with 1 card. To access that vent, I needed a crate or something to climb onto. So I just made the silliest jump to get to that crate. I had to jump over and then get the crate out because I cannot move the obstacle. If you jump down from this platform, you die. Full stop. But if you use an extinguisher, you can drop safely and get the card. I got into the neutral area and used the access card to just stroll into the lab and just kept going. Okay, in my notes I have "that room" written down, and I have no clue what I'm referring to. Yeah, no idea. For the rest of the area, I was just full sneaky mode until I remember now. Okay, yeah, the room. There was this one room, it's just like an office room with only 2 patrolling enemies and a camera, and it was like one of the hardest rooms of the whole game. I kept getting spotted, and since I was playing in the hardest difficulty, I kept getting killed in 2 shots or so. Yeah, that was it. I spent an embarrassingly long time stuck here until I finally managed to slip by unnoticed. Yeah. For the rest of the area, I was just full sneaky mode until I reached Sao. After that, I just escaped through the vents. At the helipad, there are 2 security bots waiting for you. If you have the hacking skill, you can just disable them. But I don't. So, EMP grenade it is. That being done, we go to Picus. Picus is a pretty straightforward level, even casually. The most notable part is waiting for the funicular, and sneaking past the wall of lasers right after it. You just need to wait for the enemies to pass by, and they will deactivate them for just a moment as they cross. I'm actually kind of proud about some of the things that I managed to pull off while sneaking through this area. Some of it was pretty ridiculous too. Anyway, Fedorova, the second boss fight of the game. Similar to Barret, the Director's Cut edition added this very elaborate way to kill her, but that includes hacking a bunch of panels that are way over my pay grade. Actually, I had never fought this boss normally before. I always spam Typhoon on most bosses, because why not, it's a freaking option. So it was the first time ever that I had to actually deal with her. I just stuffed her full of mines when she was stunned by the electricity. Remember what I said about Barret? It was very effective. Yeah, same. When I was back at Detroit, honestly, I just got completely sidetracked. I just went to explore and generally just dick around. Just look at that scenery. I'm a sucker for this kind of dystopian looking settings. I tried to do the private investigator's quest, but I couldn't hack the safe. So, boomer. With a tear still hanging from my cheek, I just went to see Taggart and convinced him to tell me where his minion was. As you may have noticed already, I tend to favor the silver tongue options in this game, just sweet talking my way into my objective. But I think in this particular game it's actually not that complicated. It's just getting a feel for the personality of the person you're talking to. This guy, for example, is a politician, so he has to save face, he always thinks he knows better, and he sometimes tries to stray away from the conversation. I don't know, maybe I played this game too much. Psychologist my ass. He's a freaking politician, like all of them, dude. God damn. I went to Sandoval's location. I very expertly avoided the trap. I met with the insecure Cyclope again. Then I convinced Sandoval not to paint the ceiling with his gray matter. Sneaky, 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 escapey, 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 and back to Hengsha.
Spy boy.
Spy boy.
Hengsha traffic control just revoked our clearance.
On our way to Hengsha, we get attacked and forced to land. I had a choice here. You can either take care of all the enemies and save Malik, or leave her to die. And given that Malik is the only Sarif employee / NPC that I like, yeah, peace was never an option. After saving Malik, I sneak into Harvester territory. I talk to Tongue again. I grab this little thing. That's a surprise tool that can help us later. What the fuck am I doing with my life, man? I saved Tongue's son, and off to the port. I managed to sneak in and get onto the roof of the building, but I couldn't find any way inside, or any door or vent. There was a panel here with an enemy uncomfortably close to it to hack it. I found one pane of glass on the rooftop that was not bulletproof, but it was so high that if you try to get in from here, you die. So I did the simplest, most redneck solution possible. Breaking and entering. Get it? And after that, I just took my explosive exit.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, I'm ready for the 2 final areas of the game. Oh, right. The DLC.
You the cruise director? Because I've got a complaint.
Okay, let me tell you something. I actually played this game quite a bit in the PS3. That's why I have a pretty good idea of where to go and what to do for this challenge. The Steam version though, which is the Director's Cut edition, which includes the DLC, I had only played it once before, and I have no recollection as to what to do or where to go from here. Moving on. They tell you at the very start of the DLC that you were resetted back to Factory Zero, meaning all your augmentations were taken away. Well, joke's on you, bitch. I got no augmentations to begin with. This initial section is a little bit maze-like. I ran in circles for a while until I finally found where I had to go. I recovered my equipment, but not my ammo or grenades or mines or any of that sort. I decided to save the random person on the pod for the achievement. I got to the outside part of the boat, then back inside. This part of the game is actually really linear, so I don't really have much to tell besides I went there, and then there, and then there, but without getting seen. Yeah, I have nothing else to say, man. Then I reached a room with a laser wall that protects a door. The door I can open no problem, but the wall of lasers has a level 3 panel. I spent like a good 30 to 40 minutes in this room and around it, trying to look for alternative routes, trying to get an enemy to get close enough to the lasers so it deactivated them. I tried checking if there was any vent that might help, until I finally found a pocket lock with a damn code in it. Those were 40 minutes that I'll never record. It was just there. I continued through the area. That's a mystery box. That's a loot box. I met with Keitner and the merchant. I went through the prison area. Oh gee, I hope we don't have to backtrack through this area like 3 times. Went back for the eyes. Oh god, this area again? Okay, here's a little rant of mine. In this area, you can actually hack the door you need to go through to get the eyes. But the guy guarding the door has such a short patrolling loop that it's impossible to sneak around him. And at least I couldn't figure out any other way around him. So I just stunned him and kept going. Bitch. After getting the eyes, you have to take them back to Quinn, the merchant.
Ain't nothing you couldn't pull off with a degree in computer engineering and a little elbow grease. Come on now.
Then you have to go back through the prison, use the elevator, talk to Kavanagh, and backtrack again. Then the whole gas section. Normally, the game makes you choose to save either the prisoner or to save Kavanagh. Yeah, we're gonna go with a third option. To save everyone, and to do it with no augmentations, you do need to use some kind of weapon though. If it has a silencer, even better. Just sneak past or stun these enemies, break this big box on the first floor, open the vent, and take 2 of these cardboard boxes inside of the vent. Then you have to use those boxes to climb all the way up to the next vent, and then shoot at this pipe, cutting all the gas supply. I'm making myself look good with the power of editing. I actually got caught and died several times here. The sneaking is genuinely difficult here, or at least it was for me. With that done, I went to see Burke. Burke's section is actually not that difficult to do sneaky style. Use this ladder, wait for the big guy to not be directly in front of the ladder, go up, then down through the hole. Take this, bitch! Take this, bitch! Take this, bitch! Yes! I don't know why, but his robot explodes when you knock this guy out, and it doesn't seem to alert anyone. For the next part, I just went full John Wick, but with a stun gun. You have to take care of everyone in this room, or else the game doesn't let you progress. And oh yeah, I don't know why I was trying to go non-lethal when I had already killed people in this run, and it wasn't one of my objectives for the challenge either, but bear with me. And with that, I recovered all my inventory and finally finished this godforsaken DLC. The The Omega Ranch was a complete and utter embarrassment. This relatively small area took me like 3 hours, 4 hours to complete. I'll try to be brief though, this area is actually kind of boring. The first objective is to disable the jammer, meaning you need to hack or get the code. Thankfully, the NPCs sort of spelled this one out right for you. Hey, that wasn't that bad. Now, I needed to get to the 3 scientists. Sorry, scienticians. The first one I went to, Dr. Cos, wasn't actually that bad. You can just make this guy here deactivate the laser as he passes by or access through the elevator. Easy. The other 2 took me a little bit longer. Dr. Colvin is in the 2nd floor behind a locked door, or well, technically 2 locked doors, that I cannot open without upgrading hacking. So I got stuck. I spent the next 3 hours or so just looking around for any alternative routes. I explored all 3 floors, I got into vents, I went to like this little reception area, I went out of the building, then back in again. I tried to look all over the damn floor in case there was a stupid pocket lock that I had missed, but I couldn't find anything because it was not on the floor. It was on a freaking desk. When I went to check for the doors next to Colvin, the code was not for either of those panels actually. It turns out it was a door on the 1st floor that has a vent that leads to the 2nd floor and exits right next to Colvin. Yeah, mouse from the future here. Alternatively, you can just blow up the door. That makes enemies come to investigate and you get the alarm status. But I think it doesn't sound the alarm, so still works for the achievement. Eventually they do forget there was an explosion on their top secret lab too, so yeah, that's also an option apparently. No. Just like Colvin, I spent like an hour looking inside and outside of the building for the stupid code for these lasers. I sneaked around, I looked at the floors, I hacked computers, I tried to get into rooms and looking around more until I finally freaking found it. It turns out it was in a room I had already checked at least twice before. But once again, since I was crouching, I just couldn't see it because it was on a desk. I grabbed the code for the lasers, I used it, went down and talked to the man. I uploaded the virus, meaning there was time for another boss fight. I didn't get the Chinese chip implanted, so I didn't shut down, and real talk here, I was always kind of scared of the bosses in this game. Basically because I never fight them normally. I always spam Typhoon on their faces, but apparently I found another weakness. Mines. Yeah. Easy. I was expecting the boss fights to be much more problematic than they were in the end. I think I didn't even need half of the weapons and ammo I was carrying. Dang. The last area of the game was also kinda boring. First, you gotta get to Darrow and just talk to him. I did convince him to give me the codes for the Highland project, but it didn't really matter to me. I tried to avoid conflict as much as I could here. If enemies do see you, I don't know if this is a bug or what, but they swarm you and leave you completely stun-locked until you eventually die, which basically yelled at my face that I had to avoid them even more. Okay, something funny and very silly did happen here. I went to talk to Taggart. To get to his room, I broke his door, talked to him obviously, and then I moved some crates one by one to then stack them and reach this vent. I moved all these crates except for one. Remember this crate. When I got into and through the vent, one of the exits was right behind the one box that I didn't move. Well played, game. Well played. Since I was on the neighborhood already, I also went to see Sarif. Reaching him and then exiting required a bit of parkour, some distraction shots, and one gas grenade. I hadn't used a single one in the whole run, and I just wanted to use one, damn it. Also, fun fact, gas grenades are actually non-lethal. The more you know, I guess. I then continued through the area, avoiding all conflict, and finally reached the final boss. For this final boss, we can just use our mystery tool, which is the giant freaking laser. Xiao is protected by bulletproof glass during most of the boss fight, but this weapon can go right through it. You can never be too sure. I just picked an ending, and the end. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh fuck yeah! So, can you beat Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut Edition? That is a long freaking title. Without augmentations? Yes, you can. It was not super tough, but it was still fairly challenging. It was a pretty fun run too, but I did get a little fed up at the end. Probably because of the massive amount of time I lost to Omega Ranch. But oh well, live and learn. If you like this video, like and subscribe, and share it with someone. I don't know, maybe share it with that weird uncle you never talked to. If your nephew sent you this, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, generally just leave a comment. What do you like? What did you not like? What suggestions do you have? And what ideas for future challenges do you have? Just let me know your thoughts. I will really appreciate that. There should be a video on screen right now being recommended to you. Give it a watch if you're interested. And as always, thanks for watching.